again, let's just talk about the technical side of things. Like, what is the technical value?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as I said, like it's not only about like how the cloud helps you. It's also about like within the SQL service, how we are innovating and staying ahead of the competition.
Yeah.
So if you look in the slide, like starting from the left, the first one is the seamless and the compatibility as you migrate, which is super important. Like, and that is one of the reasons we went and invested heavily in the SQL managed instance.
Yeah.
Because the idea that we had is that if you go to any of the cloud, you have to go and choose between, oh, can I go and run it as an infrastructure and just go and install SQL, then you don't get the advantage of, you do get the advantage of reducing your capex, but you still are sitting on the same type of infrastructure.
Yeah.
And you have to do the patching, upgrades, and all the things which comes along. Now, if you move into the PaaS, the problem is like you have to give up a lot of the features because it's a multi-tenant environment. There are security issues, and no cloud provider is able to give you full PaaS capability. SQL managed instance was able to achieve that by bringing the PaaS advantages, but not giving up anything that other cloud providers had to go through as they move into the PaaS. So it is almost give you full compatibility as you migrate. So you don't have to change the app. You can just take your existing app, you take your SQL, migrate into the managed instance, and the next day you are running in a fully PaaS environment. Awesome. So that is one of the key principles. As we go and innovate, we want to make sure that we don't break that promise.
So even online migration is
exactly. So zero downtime, you can go and do an online migrations when this the data is moved, everything is there, the log has caught up. You press the button and the switchover happens, and then you are in the cloud.
Okay.
So and it's amazing to see the excitement of those customers when we reach that point. Like it's like, oh wow, like it was much easier than we had thought.
That's fun.
The second thing is that, again, as I said, like the focus is on the TCO. So as we go and price our services, we want to make sure that we are not only competitive and have the best price across the industry, but also like as these companies are moving from on-prem, so they were already paying something to us. We want to make sure that the payment they have done is not a sunk cost. Like we can take that and apply here. So one of the things that we will talk later in the day is the A-Hub, which is like, and I want to be very clear, like if there's a customer out there who has SQL licenses, have a SA with us, like you come to the cloud and we turn off SQL meters. So SQL is free if you have SA with us, which is a huge advantage over any other cloud or any other provider out there, which is with active SA, the SQL meters are turned off in Azure.
So Azure Hybrid Benefit.
Yeah.
What is SA again?
So software assurance.
Yes.
So with license and software assurance. So if you are our active SQL customer, and majority of them are in that category, you already paid for the license and you are maintaining the software assurance. So as you come into the cloud, you don't have to pay a penny for SQL. So there's a checkbox, you go and click that, and we turn off the meters. So that is like when I tell customers, I can see the smile on their faces, and I'm like, man, that is amazing. Which is like how Microsoft is taking care of their existing customer base.
So bring your own license in a way?
Yeah. Okay. More than that, bring your own license, but don't run in an IaaS, run in as a PaaS service, and don't worry about it.
With all those amazing...
Exactly. So the other one is that, again, and I have a few more slides to talk about the productivity and performance breakthroughs. As I said, we love SQL. SQL is an engine which was built in Microsoft. Azure is our cloud. We want to make sure that SQL runs best on Azure. So how we can give you the performance improvement, scalability, and innovate in things like serverless and other new products. The next one is the leading security. As I said, like a lot of the customers we deal with are in the financial industry, healthcare, and even in the retail. They want the surety that, number one, like my data is secure from somebody looking at it in terms of how we handle data, what type of compliance we provide. But at the same time, what are the tools we have built to make sure somebody else does not try to break in and look and get hold of the PII data. So, and again, like these days you hear a lot about like data breach in companies and things like that. So the interesting thing is like when we started the conversation with the customers, originally it was like, oh, I can't move to the cloud because it is public cloud, it's less secure. And now when we show them all the investment that Azure has done, it is the reverse conversation. It is like, I'm worried that about the data breach. Can I move to cloud to secure my data? So and again, like that is not just the promise. It is like a lot of investment has gone in terms of how we secure your data, have built services like threat detections, which looks at like everything all the way from SQL ingestion to somebody trying to connect to your machine from an unknown IP address. So a lot of work has gone in to secure the data that people move here. The last is the intelligence. As I said, like it is our goal that every service that we run in cloud, especially on the data side, enables you to do machine learning, AI. At the same time, we go and build our own models and continuously apply machine learning as we run those services. So you get the best performance when it comes to running the services in a most secure way.
I see. There's a live question actually. So what is the highest SLA that Azure SQL Database provides?
Yeah, so we have 4 nines and a 5, and we offer it even when you pay for a single instance of SQL.
Yeah.
And that is something which no other cloud provider gives you. And so we are very proud of the SLA, and we stand behind that.
So it was 99.99, right? A few months ago.
And then we added we took a notch up. So now it is 4 nines and a 5.
Okay.
And then we are very proud of that.
All right.
So the other thing which I want to show is that, especially this this study came out very recently. So there were a lot of questions in terms of like, okay, so SQL is such a popular database out there. Like 98 of the 100 Fortune companies have SQL that they run. So, and these companies are saying, okay, I want to move into the cloud. What is the best place? So we looked at the price per comparison, and again we looked at against AWS.
Yes.
So if you go and look at on the one on the left side, you can see like even with the if we keep the playing field leveled, you get a 40% saving. But again, as I said, the SQL Server is Microsoft asset. We can go in totally have a huge advantage when it comes to the licensing. And now if we go and apply the AHub, which I mentioned earlier, we turn off the SQL meters. So you get over 86% price per advantage. So imagine like a customer walking in, have 10,000 cores of SQL license. What is the ROI they can get as they move into the Azure as compared to any other cloud? Because like the right bar, you can think of any other cloud, because nobody can give you the advantages like Microsoft can give.
I see. So that's a big number. So how did SQL Database achieve the price per benchmark difference over AWS?
Yeah, so as I said, like there are two parts to it. There is the business side of it, where we make sure that we give you the best pricing as you come to the cloud. And there are many advantages. Hybrid benefit is one. The other one is like, even if somebody is running 2008, which is out of the mainstream support, as you move into the cloud, we give you free extended support. So even if you just move in a VM running in Azure, we say, okay, you are running in Azure, so we will take care. We will provide you the updates and the patches needed free of cost.
I see.
But the more important thing is, and especially myself coming from the engineering side, the focus is that how do we go and optimize and give you the best price perf. So how can we take advantage of the latest hardware which Azure brings in? How can we go and optimize at the query processing at the QP level? How can we take advantage of the caching and the storage level? All of that work. And again, as I said, like we are able to go and do the work at the level inside the SQL engine as compared to others who will just take SQL Server that we ship outside and just host it in a machine. So that those are the investments that go in to provide this level of price per advantage.
Great.
Few key advancements that we have done, which I want to go and touch on. People might have heard a lot about the Hyperscale.
Yes,
came
the
out.
new buzzword.
Yeah, I know. Thanks to the marketing
Yes, of course.
for the word, the brand name they gave, which actually is a very nice one that truly delivers in a single word the value that it is giving to the customer. And I have a detailed slide. I will talk a little bit. The other one is the serverless. Again, a total transformational in terms of like imagine like you have a SQL Server, but like as soon as you're not using, we are not charging. So a huge innovation went in order to make that possible. And the other one is the in-memory, and again, a very good innovation coming from Intel and other OEMs for as well as for the in-memory database that SQL had even in the earlier versions.
Yeah.
So between all three, like we are able to innovate a lot. So let me quickly talk about the Hyperscale. In Hyperscale, the key thing is that we actually went in and redesigned a lot of parts of the SQL. So this was not about like, okay, how can we just take advantage of the cloud? It was like, yes, we want to take advantage of the cloud, but the SQL engine in the current form was not built to take advantage where you can scale out at the storage level. So with this one, like we have already tested at 200 terabyte, and this is one of the live demos actually we did.
Amazing demo on YouTube.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, and then it was done in Satya's Inspire keynote as well. And 200, and there is no limit to it. Like you can keep scaling out at the storage level, and at the compute level, we were able to scale from a couple of nodes to 3,000 cores, and this gives you the capability that you can have a single database with no limits. And it was made possible by the innovation that happened at the QP level, that happened at the storage level. It takes advantage of the tiered storage level, so all your data is in the remote store. So you can take advantage of like the cheapest storage. Then we have the page servers that caches the data for the best performance, and then you have the head node, and we do the best work in terms of where the data is cached and give you the best performance for your query.
I see.
So the other work that we had to do, because when you hit those limits, like understand like no database even on-prem is running at that scale. So then we had to invest in things like advanced database recovery, because if there is some failure happens, like we cannot wait because now you have 70 terabytes sitting in your database, and we have to catch up with the logs and everything. So this gives you, independent of the data size, the same recovery times. And this is the feature we are also now shipping on-prem because this has totally changed the way people are able to recover the databases.
This is the same demo that Rohan Kumar showed during.
Absolutely, yeah. So
YouTube.
this innovation happened as part of our design for the Hyperscale. But again, like there is a lot of pieces which are built in and now being applied in other places as well.
All right.
The other one is, as I said, serverless, and this is the one which gets people the most excited. Yes. Because imagine that you have a database, you set it up just like a regular SQL Server database, and then as soon as the query is not running, we have the ability to pause that, which means you don't pay anything other than the remote storage, which is the cheapest, as you can understand. So you are using the best in the world relational database, but you only pay when you are running the query. So it is a per second billing. It can scale up and down very, very fast. And so you can set it up that, I want a 1 core, but scale up to 16 as needed, and then turn off if I'm not using. So it gives you a huge flexibility. So we are seeing a new type of applications which people are writing where they don't need the queries to be running all the time, and they have a downtime at one point which we will turn off the SQL and you are not charged. But as soon as the first query comes, you get the same performance.
Oh, wow. And then let's say you have a Thanksgiving sale, you have lots of people coming in, then you can up the course.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, like I remember, like one of the customer I was talking to, they have a very, very small application help you reserve camping sites, and they were like, we can't pay a lot of money. And the other thing is like sometimes there is traffic at night, there is not because it is very focused on the US market. And we talked about serverless, and it's like, oh, this is perfect, exactly I was looking for, because I don't want to sacrifice the performance, reliability, and the security features that it has, but I was unable to pay for constantly running this thing. And I don't want to build all the scripts to pause and resume and things like that. Now they're in serverless. It just happens automatically.
Make it easy.
Yeah. So just quickly touch on two more things. We talked about this threat detection before as well, which is like how we are continuously monitoring your databases and making sure that there is no activity which puts your data at risk. And we have more documentation available on this thing, which is like how we have built the world-class threat detection system, and we secure all your databases. And the last one is that and this is what I was referring to you earlier, which is like how do we apply AI and machine learning to give you the best database performance and reliability. So this one is like, think of it as like these are the intelligent databases. We will look at the query performance. If the query performance degrade, we will recommend all the way where you can even ask us to force these updates, which is like we can put an index or we can drop one. We will continuously monitor. If the performance is degrading, we can reverse it and go to the last best query plan. So a lot of innovation, and again, it's only possible on Azure, on SQL Server, because it's the best relational engine, and we own it, and we are making it run best on Azure, which is our cloud.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Any concluding thoughts for customers? Where can they go to get more information about all this?
Yeah, I think like we have put a lot of material out there on the migrations. I think like the one thing which I will go and say is that don't think about migration as just getting out of your data centers and using Azure. Absolutely, that is a huge advantage with Azure available in so many data centers across the world. But the key thing is like you will be blown away and surprised in a good way with the data modernization that will happen as part of the journey. Once you are in our cloud, we take care of the things both on CapEx, OpEx, giving you the best intelligent platforms, and you have so many options to go and use other services that Azure offers today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. Pleasure.